Have you ever asked yourself, what would I do if I had a stroke or heart attack and no one else was around to help me? For many seniors, this isn't just a passing thought. It's a real fear. But here's the good news. Even if you're alone, there are powerful, life-saving actions you can take immediately. No medical background needed. This video is made especially for those of you over 60 who want to stay safe, prepared, and empowered, even in the most frightening situations. We're going to walk through 5 practical, proven tips that could save your life. These aren't complicated, they're easy to remember, and more importantly, they work. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be more prepared than 90% of people out there. Let's dive in, spot the signals, and act without delay. When it comes to surviving a stroke or heart attack, the single most important thing you can do is recognize the symptoms and act fast. Time lost equals tissue lost. Whether it's your brain during a stroke or your heart during a heart attack, every minute matters. Let me tell you about Marjorie, a 76-year-old widow who lived alone in Florida. One morning, she noticed that her vision in one eye suddenly blurred and her right hand went numb. At first, she thought it was from sleeping in a bad position, but then she remembered an article she'd read about stroke symptoms. She didn't hesitate. She called 911 immediately. That call saved her life and minimized the damage. So what should you watch for? For stroke, remember the acronym BEFAST, balance, sudden dizziness or trouble walking eyes, blurred or double vision, face weight, drooping on one side, arms, weakness or numbness, especially on one side, speech, slurred or hard to understand. Time, call 911 immediately. For heart attacks, be alert for chest discomfort or pressure, pain in your neck, back, jaw, or arms, nausea or lightheadedness, shortness of breath, cold sweat. Don't dismiss symptoms as just age or a bad night's sleep. Trust your instincts, not your excuses. Keep a list of emergency numbers by the phone, or even better, get a medical alert device that can contact help at the push of a button. 2. Master simple self-help techniques. When you're alone, it's easy to feel helpless, but you're not powerless. There are simple, science-backed techniques that can keep you stable until help arrives. Let me introduce you to Walter, an 80-year-old retired engineer who had a heart rhythm issue one night. He felt dizzy, his chest tight, and his heart was racing. He didn't panic. Instead, he sat upright, focused on his breathing, and used a technique his doctor taught him. Slow, deep breaths through the nose and out through pursed lips. That helped him stay calm and conscious long enough to call emergency services. Now, you may have heard of cough CPR, the idea that you can cough forcefully to keep your heart beating during early signs of cardiac arrest. While this should never replace medical care, some experts suggest that forceful coughing during an irregular heartbeat might help maintain consciousness for a few moments. But caution, only attempt this if you're fully alert and call 911 first. In most cases, what's far more helpful is deep breathing. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Staying still, avoid sudden movements that can worsen symptoms. Visual focus, keep your eyes fixed on a single object to stabilize dizziness. Practicing these techniques once a week helps your brain and body respond automatically in a real emergency. 3. Build awareness before a crisis hits. Preparation doesn't start during the emergency. It starts long before. That's what saved Lena, a 71-year-old former school principal who suffered a mild stroke in her garden. She'd been attending community health classes and knew her personal risk factors, like high blood pressure and diabetes. When she noticed her speech slurring slightly and her hands shaking, she didn't ignore it. She had practiced what to say to 911, and she even kept a copy of her medical info on her fridge for paramedics. Here's what you can do right now. Talk to your doctor about your risk profile. Learn the difference between chronic conditions and emergency symptoms. Keep medication lists, medical history, and allergies in one spot. Inform a neighbor or nearby friend about your emergency plan. And perhaps most important, pay attention to subtle changes. Many strokes and heart attacks begin with mild symptoms, fatigue, slight dizziness, or a weird feeling in your chest. Don't brush it off. Awareness is protection. Use proper positioning and calming techniques. The way you position your body can influence how your heart and brain respond during a crisis. Let's go back to Walter. The moment he felt chest tightness, he didn't lie down flat. Instead, he sat in a chair, feet flat on the ground, and leaned slightly forward. This helped relieve pressure on his heart and allowed him to breathe more easily. Here's what experts recommend. If you're having trouble breathing, sit upright or slightly forward. If you feel faint or dizzy, lie on your side with knees slightly bent. Avoid lying flat on your back unless you're unconscious. Rest your arms on a surface, like your knees, to stabilize. Now pair this with calming breathing. Inhale gently through the nose. Hold for a moment. Exhale slowly through pursed lips, like blowing out a candle. This slows your heart rate, reduces panic, and gives your brain more oxygen, vital in the first few minutes of a crisis. Practicing breathing techniques daily builds emergency muscle memory. Your body learns to respond with calm instead of chaos. 5. Adopt the survival mindset. The final tip is more mental than physical, but it might be the most powerful of all. You need to believe that you are capable of saving your own life. Many seniors hesitate to call for help. They don't want to cause a fuss or look silly if it turns out to be nothing. But that delay, it can be deadly. Let's talk about George, a 74-year-old retired pilot. He once told me, "In the air, you never waited for the engine to fully fail before you reacted. You looked at the gauges and trusted what you saw." George had a heart attack while alone in his garage. He didn't wait to be sure. He called for help, sat down, and took deep breaths while describing his symptoms to emergency responders. He survived because he acted. The survival mindset means you respond immediately when something feels wrong. You trust your knowledge, you prepare, not because you live in fear, but because you value your independence. This mindset turns fear into fuel. So let's recap the 5 life-saving tips. Recognize the signs early and act without hesitation. Use simple self-help techniques like breathing and positioning. Build awareness before crisis hits. Know your risks and make a plan. Use positioning and calming breathing to stay stable. Adopt the survival mindset. You are capable and worth saving. If you found even one of these tips helpful, please comment "I'm ready" below to let me know you're part of this growing community of wise, empowered seniors. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a video that could protect your health or even save your life. Your knowledge, your courage, and your preparation matter. Don't wait for someone else to save you. Be your own hero. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.